We're here.
Welcome back to another episode of Gratitude in Style. This is it, episode 10 for 2021.
Yes.
Season 1.
Yes, season 1. Today actually closes season 1 for us.
It's a wrap on season 1. But that doesn't mean anything. All it means is that we're just taking a holiday break and we're coming at you with more gratitude and more style and fashion in 2022. This is episode 10 of season 1, Gratitude and Style.
Yes.
Episode via IG Live, but also...
If you're not watching, you need to watch this.
Ugly Christmas sweater party. We had to. I mean...
We actually didn't have to, but this was
Maddie always goes along with my antics. I mean, come on.
Just talk about this poncho, though. This is a poncho with garland Christmas tree.
Oh, Christmas
and
tree.
Look
Oh,
at this.
Christmas
with
tree.
ornaments. And I was just like, please don't tell me that's what I'm wearing.
No, you had the more subdued.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You
But I
have
do love my earrings.
Yeah, ornament earrings.
Super cute.
Ornament earrings. Look at us. Look at the festiveness.
Yes.
So we thought, what better way to close out season 1 than to do a little recap, a little memory lane moment. Anybody who is unfamiliar, we do Gratitude and Style episodes, and for each Gratitude and Style episode, we of course are a video podcast, so we launch a video with it, and that's been the whole season, the whole time, and it will continue to be that way. And what we decided to do was we wanted to kind of keep in touch with you all.
Right.
So we did between episodes. And those were these like IG lives where we just kind of chat and chill and have like a fun chit chat. But so for this one, we're doing it both. This audio will live on the podcast.
Right.
So hi everybody out there. Hello, hello. I'm talking to you.
Yes.
But also we are right now staring at ourselves because we are doing an IG live. So lots of fun things. I feel like we're very tech savvy today.
Yes.
Are we?
did a lot. We were here doing a lot of work. Preparing for 2022.
We got lots to do.
Yeah. But I'm really excited because I think recapping and also talking about us starting, from the very beginning. One of the things that I'm really passionate about with Gratitude and Style, this is like my new baby. So I understand when you first start off, how it feels. And I always want to encourage people that when they start off a business, when you're an entrepreneur, absolutely, definitely make sure that this is part of your journey. Because this is part of our journey. And we're going to talk about that today because we had no idea that we were preparing for this so long ago.
When you okay, so we have to talk about that. So we'll talk, actually that's a perfect segue. Perfect segue.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that Megan and I did over many years that we didn't realize was preparing us for these moments that we're having now and for Gratitude and Style.
Like truly did not realize, and now it makes so much sense.
Right. And we did it because either someone asked us to or because we said, you know what, we would be really good at this. Maybe let's pitch it to this brand and see if they want us to do it. So we actually did something very similar, like Gratitude and Style, for another brand, for a lingerie brand. And we did that and we interviewed and we were talking about, remember we were talking and we had a live model and we were on the brand's Instagram doing it. We've done it also on video. We did it ourselves in the studio.
Remember the studio one?
The studio
one is basically, and I didn't
realize
it
it's
basically
like our
was fashion episodes.
It's just like, and we did it multiple times.
But we did it 5 years ago?
Right. Exactly.
So when Maddie posted this the other day, it literally like clicked in my head and I was like, what? Because of course she's so good at that. She's like, we have been on this journey forever together and didn't realize, and this is what it means to really be on your journey and living your purpose and following your path. And I was like, wait a minute. And then I like reread what she posted. She posted in stories. It was super casual. Maybe you should put it in your feed.
Yeah.
Or we'll put it on Gratitude and Style's feed.
Yeah, so they can see.
Because it really is, it clicked. And I was like, what? We did this 4 or 5 years ago.
I also want to address what we did back then was preparing us for this moment and for journey. And I think a lot of times we say, follow your journey, not realizing that during that time that you're following your journey, you're being prepared.
Yeah. And you're learning.
Time.
all of the things that you
Right.
need to be ready for
Yeah.
once you get
Yeah.
to where you're
don't
going.
give up. Because I feel like if we had given up, because it's not like that stuff stayed steady, right? So we did one here, did one there, we did 3 there.
Yeah,
right?
it
And
wasn't
a steady,
consistent.
right? It wasn't consistent. So what if we threw up our hands? We're never gonna do it again. No, it was literally preparing
It's
us.
so wild to think about. I would encourage every single person listening or watching, if there is something that you cannot stop, it just keeps coming back. It keeps coming to the top of your conversation, top of mind. You keep getting signs. Someone's mentioning it to you. Someone's talking about it to you. Someone's complimenting you on XYZ. If that's happening to you, you need to get really in tune with that. It's happening to you for a reason. Consider this a sign. If there is something that you are waiting to do, if there is something that you are not sure if it's for you, but you feel it and you just need a push or you just need someone to say, I believe in you, this is us promising you it is worth trying. I believe in you.
I believe in you.
It is time. The last, how many months are we in this? 6? Less than.
Less than 6 months. We just started.
Between 4 and 7 months.
Right.
I'm gonna go 4 because it was really like hit the ground running in September. Today is episode 10 of season 1, and the amount of growth that has happened in 4 months for this project, and then us individually,
Right.
and then the projects that we individually were connected to,
Right.
have all positively been affected
Yes.
by what's happening here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And whatever time, effort, and energy you are going to put into whatever it is that you're taking this sign for, it will pay off. Whether it's a personal development, whether it's a professional development, whether it's relationship, whether it's just time management, how you're feeling, health and wellness, mental wellness, multiple facets of my life have gotten way better
Yes.
because
I'm
I took a
blessed.
chance on a project with a friend of mine.
Yeah, and because you opened yourself up. When I was on my way here, you have to cross a drawbridge and it opens. So I'm right there and I'm in the car and I told her I would be there in 10 minutes, but this thing is
25 minutes later.
really slow going up. And while I'm looking at it, the sun is up and I'm just kind of looking at the water and it's going up. And I said, imagine if we would open ourselves up like that drawbridge. And I'm looking at the little boat that they're waiting for, very slow moving boat. Slow. I answered 3 emails and the boat was still coming. But think about
gotta
it.
love small town life.
I love it. But think about it this way. Imagine if you open yourself up and say, yes, I'm going to receive all my blessings. But we want our blessings like this. But sometimes those blessings come that slow.
They're chugging
To
along.
test how much we want it.
Oh my God.
So remember that because we have to be there. We have to wait for that blessing
Look
to come.
at you. Your
Nice.
heaven bound is showing.
Listen, my grandfather was a minister. So far, that apple does not fall far from the tree. Instant. Sometimes the blessing is not instant. Sometimes it's not going to come right. And sometimes it will. But
Yeah.
sometimes it won't. So don't close that drawbridge before that blessing comes through.
And
Just
a lot
remember
of
that.
a lot of things are long game.
Right.
And if you have not listened or watched episode 1, it tells a lot about who we are and
Right.
why we are this way. It doesn't tell you why I make us wear costumes a lot, but it does absolutely tell you a lot about kind of how we got to this position in our lives and here. And
Right.
so it's an origin story about following your journey. And I think it's super important to remember that doesn't stop. So I think in another 10 episodes from now, we're going to have episode 1 again.
Right,
Because we've been
right.
following our journey.
Right.
So it really, it doesn't just stop there.
Well, I think that we've grown a lot even just from when we started.
Oh my God.
we
have to tell.
yeah.
Okay. Also,
We so we batch recorded in the summer.
so this
for the
was our magical dream, right? We were
Yeah.
like, oh my God, we're so prepared.
Yeah.
Because we came up with Gratitude and Style in December 2019.
2019, right.
Right?
So it was before,
So we were prepping
right.
to start 2020 with this new project, right? So we were like, oh my God, look
We're
at
gonna do
us, it's gonna be
this.
amazing. And then life, crash, burn, dumpster fire of everything. So we were stopped. And we were super prepared, right? So we had shot lists and plans, and yeah, we're gonna shoot this episode, we're gonna batch record, all these things.
Drive 5 hours to Connecticut.
Well, in reality, it should have only taken like 2.5, but it was an insane amount of time that we were so much travel. But Maddie and I, ever the optimists, we were like, it's gonna be great. We have our little notebooks and we have our computers, and here we are, and we're sitting down and we're powwowing. I remember we're sitting on the couch going through everything
in our pajamas.
And I just remember, like, in my head, I hope we do this okay. This feels like a lot.
But she doesn't act that way. She's like, we're gonna do this. Come on, let's do it. Blah blah blah. Meanwhile, I'm like,
yeah,
I'll be over here taking
it's hyper. We film 4 episodes in one day.
But it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot, because it's not like we're sitting there, with, something and we're reading it. This is coming out of us. And
the extent of us kind of having like a plan is really when Maddie's like, I kind of need bullet points like to keep you on track because you talk too much. So, I mean, like for the most part, it's really like an outline, and not every episode too. Like some episodes we don't have.
Especially the fashion episodes. I literally am just winding her up and be like, "Go, man." Go,
yeah. We don't have them for
it.
those. We're not. There's no real plan. It's very much this is the topic. This is what we want to discuss, and then let's speak from our hearts and let's speak about how important it is to live a life of gratitude.
Right.
Have a little style in there.
Yes.
Being able to share our belief in the power of gratitude and have it in our minds possibly affect someone else feels very special energy.
Right.
And so...
And it's very emotional. Like for me, it's very emotional.
Yeah, not so much for me.
It's definitely
I'm always cracking a joke. But, so like we filmed episode 1. We did it in one take.
Right.
That's the other fun fact.
Yeah.
Almost every episode we've done... one take wonders, if you will. Right. And basically all that means is it comes from our hearts.
Right, exactly.
Episode 2.
We did not record.
We waited. So we had so many things happening that it really was like a wild day. So we skipped episode 2. We didn't go in chronological order. Right. We went to film episode 3, which was our episode with Christian. So then we did our interview episode, which was
so good. He was amazing.
So anyway, we filmed episode
3.
And we break for touch-ups. Then we're re-steaming clothes. Then we're doing this and that. While the team... Oh my God, my hair was a mess. It was the summer. It was the summer. We shot today. And Maddie's like, oh my gosh, your hair is staying so nice. I was like, because it's not 187 degrees
out. Like it
out.
held its curl all day.
Up watching episode 2 when we get the footage back. It did not make any sense.
The episode that we shot that day, it was nighttime. It was a long day.
It wasn't even, I was
hungry. So I definitely was not going to make absolutely any sense. Because by the time we shot that, lunch was like how many hours before that? You guys know that I go to bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
so I'm like 8 o'clock. I'm like, yawning. And she's like, stop that. I'm like, yeah. So it was hard. When we saw it, I was like, I'm so afraid to tell Megan that I hate the episode. I hate it. And it was our second episode. And I hated it. I was like, we can't. Yeah, it was so bad.
No one will ever. Nothing made sense.
We look great.
We get the footage back. Now it's after the fact. We can't reshoot. We can't go back to that location.
Right.
It's after the fact. So now we have to have the hard conversation.
She was like, we make no sense.
It comes as a shock. Yeah.
That's what you said. You were like,
best impression of me. It was brutally honest. And I literally was like, we don't have an episode 2.
Yeah. We make no sense. I saw the text. I was like, I'm thinking, like, what are we going to do? We shot in order of the calendar. So what are we going to do? We have no second episode.
It was rough.
So we go into production mode. Okay, what could we do? Pulling favors.
Also, this is costly.
Yes.
We made a commitment to ourselves and to a certain level of production that we did not want to sacrifice. Yes, we could do it just like this every single week, but we felt it was really, really important to create essentially show.
Right.
We have a team that is brilliant.
And believes in us.
And they live a life of gratitude. And so we invested in ourselves and in our team. And
in what we're doing and bringing to you. That's where the investment is.
But it costs money.
Yeah.
So we were like, we're literally throwing away an episode that cost us money to produce. Devil Wears Prada, when they're like, Miranda pulled the September shoot and now we're reshooting it.
That needed to be pulled because it made no sense. You guys would have been like, what?
It was just, but here's the thing. I hope you're happy in knowing that like we literally put that much time, thought, effort, energy into and pride into our work that like we wouldn't give you like a half
whatever right
episode. We just wouldn't. Like,
we also critique ourselves probably a little bit too much, but we do. Like every time that we watch an episode or even an Instagram live or something, we always go back and critique what we could do better. What would people benefit from? What are the answers that we could bring to people? So that to me is what we're doing for 2022. Like, like literally, what are we going to produce that people can take? Because we don't realize how much knowledge we have and how much experience we have in so many areas.
Yeah.
And we can start conversations. We can answer some questions. We can open up, you know, narratives for you. And I feel like that's where we're going. So we almost, I feel like, got our feet wet now in 2021, because 2022 and what we're trying to do for this year coming up is going to be so good. It's our growth process, and this is why we're sharing it.
Episode 2 is a big learning lesson. Lesson out of it is don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because what are we going to do? And I was like, I have an idea. My friend Ben is a restaurant owner and incredibly gracious and kind enough to allow us to use the space. And he was like, go for it. Think about people who would do that for you. Like, do something nice for them. Go ahead and pay it forward and do something nice for them. Deal.
He realized how much of a big deal it was. We were literally like panicked. Like,
yeah,
oh my God,
it was very stressful.
Shoot?
Also, because we foolishly thought we were ahead of the game. So like we went and enjoyed July and August and then came back to look at the footage. Yeah. It was mid-August when we shot episode 2.
That was Hurricane.
Yes. So wait, so okay. So anyway, the learning lesson is you have to be prepared for anything. Right. And you cannot be afraid to ask for help.
Right.
So, and that goes for anything, but it really, really goes for this situation. We were shooting on a Monday by the beach. That means hurricane season. Really didn't consider at all. What are you going to do? Like, go track the Doppler? Like, what do you mean? Like, I mean, honestly.
And we really had no choice.
Storm comes rolling in.
But we didn't panic.
And think we're going to be fine.
That's the thing. We didn't panic.
We didn't.
We talked about
it. We joked about it a lot.
We were on the phone. We were literally like on the phone, like I'm driving Madison to school. Like, yeah, there might be a hurricane on Monday. I was like, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait until the very last minute. And we did not panic. We just talked about if we can't make it happen, we'll figure out another way to do it.
We sprung into action again. Like, it turned out to be a gorgeous day. Then have to remember that all of these things are for a reason. How can you make it about you? Like, oh, why is this happening to me?
Exactly.
It's not happening to anyone. It's just everybody happening.
Right. Like the reaction that we had to that in both instances. Our reaction was what made it happen, because it's always so easy. If the sun is shining and, you know, this is great and we got all the money in the world, yeah, let's go back to Connecticut and spend a whole bunch of money and reshoot it or whatever. We don't have it like that.
No.
It's so easy to be, you know, in gratitude and kind and happy when everything's going your way. But what happens, and we did talk about this in the next episode.
This is how it happens.
Because what happens when things are not going your way? How do you hold on to that joy? And we've talked about that. That was the reason why. Because how do you hold on to that joy when things are not going your way? Things don't go your way. And it could be anything. It could be from the smallest little thing to the biggest things. So how do you hold on to your joy? Those are the times when you have to hold on to your gratitude the most. Your faith, your belief, your journey. That's when you have to do that. Not just when things are going fine and when everybody's like, oh, great, you're fabulous. But what about when you're not feeling fabulous? That's how you truly know the strength of your character and your faith. That's how you truly know.
And we kept humble because we were on a high from June. Like, our first shoot was so incredible. We were like, oh my God,
we got
look at us. And then boom, episode 2 can't be used. We have to reshoot it, find a place. It's a hurricane, all these things. Yeah. But the greatest part of it is that literally then we sat down, and that is where the narrative came from.
Exactly.
Where Maddie was like, we're going for it. Like,
I have learned over the years. So I will be completely transparent. I go to therapy. I grew up in a Pentecostal home, so I definitely have a lot of faith, and I pray. I also meditate, and I also align myself with people in my inner circle who have very similar aesthetics to life, and they're, you know, very much aligned. So like if you guys know Jessie, you know, Curves with Moves, you know, with Power Plus Wellness, she's literally like just another version, a wellness advocate version of Megan. Seriously, they both have this very spunky, you know, attitude. My sister Lori, who is literally like just like her. To say that that is what you have to do, but you have to know how to manage your character and manage when those things happen. So for me, I learned that if I see smoke, I don't have to see the fire. I have to see the smoke. That's my trigger. If I already know that something is brewing over there and I don't want to get involved, I don't get involved. And that's how I learned to say, okay, we know a hurricane is coming. There's a storm coming. All right, fine.
Whatever.
Let's plan B.
Right.
What are we going to do? Instead of staying in the mindset of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Why is this happening to me? Oh my, you don't give that energy to that. You give the energy the other way. And I feel like when I was growing up, because I grew up with a sister like her, I remember the first time I went to therapy was because I grew up with a sister like her. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I be like Lori? And I remember thinking, I want to be like her. And the therapist was like, you're never going to be like her. That's not how you were.
You're not wired that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But don't think of yourself as less than because you're not that character. Validate who you are, because
just a different approach.
Are needed just as much as she is.
Yep.
Because that character is fantastic in that situation, but your character is fantastic in other situations. But you have to keep yourself open, like I talked about before, the open bridge, so that you can soften that up. So because I was the person that if something happened, I would be like, oh my God, what's happening? I had to learn to bring it in, to really rely on my faith, to rely on myself, my confidence, and to have trust in people in my life, which is not easy to do because we get bombarded with people, you know, doing things behind our back from when we're young little kids. Think about the kid that took your crayon.
Give me my crayon back.
Think about those things. Like from when you're little, you're always thinking like, you know, not always people have your best interest, but think about how beautiful it is when you align yourself with people that you can truly, truly trust and have the best interest at hand for you and for the project that you're working on.
Because that's like your tool.
Important. Absolutely.
That's your tool.
Absolutely. So think about that because not everybody's going to be holly jolly over here, just like my sister and Megan, but it's okay. You don't have to be that, but you can be your absolute best self.
And it takes work. It's a muscle.
It is.
So you have to work the muscle. It takes a long time to get to, it's still a learning lesson. Every day I have to make those decisions. Same. But if anything, you can maybe approach it how we approach it, which is like look back. Yes. Do a quick edit, implement some gratitude.
Right.
Because now we're looking back and we're like, episode 2 was a really big point for us in gratitude and style because we learned such a hard lesson so early on.
Right.
And then nothing else can shake us. And now looking back on it, like I'm so proud of us for being able to shake it. There were so many things that were attached to it. There's a lot of
lessons to learn from that, even moving forward. There's a lot of legs there.
So episode 3 brought us into no stress. In episode 3.
Yeah.
It was. We laughed so hard with Christian.
He was great.
It was. If you have not watched or listened to episode 3, make a reminder for yourself. Listen to it. Because episode 3 was hysterical. Christian was so nervous. It's actually better to watch because he really does have such beautiful presence on camera.
Does. He definitely does.
And I don't think
he was nervous and he definitely pushed through. And I want to say hi to my baby Jax.
Hi.
My nephew Jax is on.
Oh, he's watching the live. And anybody listening to the audio, quick reminder, like we're just
on
rolling.
We're
on IG Living. This is what's happening. So hi everybody. We see you all. Those of you guys who are joining us with IG Live. Thanks for hanging out.
But Christian was great. I loved it. He was very inspirational to a lot of people that were thinking about taking a step forward. Maybe not, you know, offering their business or, you know, going into business, but definitely just taking a step forward. Because I remember having a conversation with someone that said, you know what, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do this or not. I thought I was just too old to go back to school or whatever. And I was just like, what? And she's like, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to do it online and figuring out a way to do it. And that's what he did. He took a huge chance.
Huge risk.
Huge. And look at where he is today.
His was very inspirational. Surprisingly, so not surprising that he's inspirational, but that the episode, people and that the episode, like, because it was funny, so to be into the episode,
right,
to feel and receive that, which made me so happy because people were like, oh my God. And it was really fun for all the people that know Christian, but don't know his
side of him, right? And I think one of the most inspirational things for me was knowing how accomplished he is, forget how humble.
My God.
I
I mean, his face, like his brush touched a Hadid sister.
Right.
And then would like come to us.
And then comes to us.
What? I
like,
mean,
really,
hello.
like he is the nicest, most humble person. And if you can have that level of success and
still be that humble.
That is the ultimate
You're
goal.
winning. That's it.
Ultimate goal.
That's
ultimate. Christian just joined.
Oh my God.
We were just talking about you.
We spoke him into existence. So audio people, a reminder, we're on IG Live at the same time right now. Christian, we literally just spoke you into existence, and I agree. We are not going to repeat all the nice things. So now you're going to go back and rewind. No, I'm just kidding. We were just saying how inspirational your episode was and how it touched so many people. And not that we were surprised that you are inspirational. We know you and love you just for that. But we were so grateful for people being so tuned into the episode to be able to receive that inspiration and how, and I hope, did he just catch what you said, the last part of it?
I'm not even sure, but we were also talking about how amazing it is that you're so accomplished and yet you're so incredibly humble.
Such a big deal, but so laid back. So chill. Soup's chill.
Oh my God.
Very laid back. Hair flip, ponytail, bye.
This is how they are. By the way.
I just love him so much. I can't wait to see him again. So that was Christian's episode.
Yes.
Super fun. And we were all reminded that don't put makeup on the subway without a mirror.
Right. And blend.
And blend. That's it. That's
I
all.
think
He was
about
just like,
that
make sure you
every
blend.
time. Every time.
Make sure you blend.
Yes.
So mirrors and blending. Then we went into episode 4. Episode 4 was a big deal. Not the first sponsored episode we had, but so incredibly grateful to Lane Bryant to have a brand understand the power of living a life of gratitude and to match that is absolutely an honor that we do not take lightly.
That's like saying, I'm going to sell you a car, but you can't see it. It's going to have 4 doors. It's going to have 4 tires. It's going to have a windshield, but I can't show it to you and I don't know what color it is. That's literally what we did to Lane Bryant. Like, this is our pitch. We don't have anything for you to see, but this is what we want to do. And they were like,
this is what we're going to talk about.
Could you imagine? Like,
I think about it all the time because it's very special when it aligns properly. Right. And it only aligns when it's supposed to. Because we've gotten plenty of no's.
Right.
It just so happens that we got a very supportive yes because of the nature of the content that we were creating.
But because of who we are and what we've proven in our individual brands.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Because I feel like we may not be the most popular, but we deliver what we're supposed to. We understand what each brand, and especially with Lane Bryant, what they're looking for. So when you're in this position or any position and you're using your social media, be really, really careful. I'm not saying don't be authentic. Be your most authentic self.
Yeah.
But know that everything that you write, that you say on social media will absolutely be recorded in people's minds. How you react, did I not say that before? How you react will tell everybody who you truly are. Not what I write in my captions. It's how I react to somebody that's being mean to me, who's trying to drag me or drag Plus Model Mag. And I want to be like, listen, blah, blah, blah. But I don't. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to delete and block you right now. But it's how you react to things that will develop what your brand stands for. And that's why Lane Bryant or whoever will come on board, because they understand who you are and that you're not going to be a hothead and you're not going to go off and you're going to like go against that contract. It's really, really, really important to understand who you are aligned with. Like, if all I do is, sell cars, why would Lane Bryant sponsor me if all I talk about is cars or all I talk about is lipstick? They're not a beauty brand.
Right.
So think about who you want to align yourself with and don't say, oh, they just don't like me. No, you just don't align with the brand.
And honestly, like, you're not everyone's cup of tea.
Right.
Like, we are not everyone's cup of tea. We got a lot of NOs. We were lucky enough to be Lane Bryant's cup of tea, and they saw the power in living a life of gratitude. And they liked the idea that we were going to just bring a little joy and
Right.
kindness
Right.
and gratitude with fashion.
Right.
There's a touch of fashion in every episode.
Right.
And there's a sprinkle of style, and we always talk about it because we end every episode with what are you grateful for, what's in style right now.
Right.
But it's not always like, this is fashion.
Right. Unless it's a fashion
But episode 4 was.
So the fashion episodes, if you notice, it's literally me just like, okay, here we are. And I'm just like prompting Megan because that is her place. If we were talking about modeling or something else, that would be my place. Then I'll be
Or
talking
being
the entire
the
time.
ultimate boss mom.
Right. But like that's my place. The fashion space, I'm literally standing there trying not to like my jaw to drop as I'm watching her because I'm just like so fascinated with the way that she sees fashion and the way that she's able to style us all different shapes, all different sizes. Like if you watch one of the last ones, even the first one with Jess and Faith, amazing. They looked amazing, and how she speaks to fashion so that she's not speaking over our head.
Fashion felt intense and in a great way. Like that inspires me. Like any kind of I turn fear into like power. Like somehow, like I don't know, in my mind, like I'm like, oh, you're scared of this? Like then we're gonna do even better.
Yeah.
Like if something
it was
happens.
fantastic. I loved it.
So I was not that I was scared, but I was just like, this has to be wonderful. And it has to be 100 out of 100.
It was the first time with live models as
And
well.
doing it that format. We had Jess and Faith. And they were absolutely incredible. And we did fall fashion trends and we told our funny stories. And fall fashion felt like another pivotal point.
Right.
Episode 1 was great. Episode 2, definite pivotal point. Episode 3,
Not a great
phenomenal.
affair.
But thank you to Christian mostly.
Yeah.
Episode 4, strong pivotal moment. Like
Right,
that to me
right.
felt like a game changer because I was like, okay. We closed out that episode and both of us looked at each other and we were like,
We could do this.
we could do this.
Yeah.
Like
it felt good.
and that one I think is where it probably happened in
Yeah.
your mind where the click was like, oh wait, we've been doing this. This
Yeah.
is what we did 5
Yeah.
years ago.
I was like, that's exactly the format that we had 5 years ago. And I was just like,
and
we've done this
without
before.
even like realizing. So
Exactly.
it just was
Also
fun.
because I can see the potential in it. I feel like this was great to show it, but I think for me, that someone that's not a stylist, I love fashion, but it's those moments. It's like, oh, so you can wear that with that, and it would look like this, and then we're putting it on visibly plus size bodies. I mean, it's such a great way to make that point for so many people that are like,
Yeah.
I can't wear it.
And
I
a
don't
fun
wear that
part of
color.
it was that we also did some Q&A. So like
Yeah.
and so I mean we can promise you this, you're gonna see more of that format come
So good.
2022.
So good.
It's just a no-brainer. It's so much fun for us. I love the part where I get to literally take someone's question and answer it in real time. Like very similar to stuff that we do already, but the way
Right.
that we did it with Gratitude and Style made it very personal. Before was episode 5.
Yeah, so that was the Blogger House
Yes!
Curvy Closet.
This was such a good one.
It was at our Entrepreneur Hispanic Heritage Month episode.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Darlene and Sandra. They were our guests. And it was so, I mean, we laughed. I laughed. I had tears.
Yeah, like
It
we
was
really,
so good.
we laughed
Yeah.
hysterically.
But if you are someone that's looking for inspiration for anything, like just moving forward and saying, you know what, I can do this. And I may not have everything in a row. I may not have all the box checked right now. But guess what? I know that I'm prepared enough to start. And that's what these girls did. And they explained everything. And it was so, so good. They were great. They
it
were
was
funny, they were
awesome.
deep.
If you are somebody who has a podcast or interviews people for a living or something like that, they are incredible
They're
guests.
so great.
They're such good guests to have because they have such personality. They feed off of each other so incredibly well because they're friends and colleagues and business partners.
And live at the same house.
And live in the same house and have
Like,
such a great...
we talked about all that.
They have
It
such
was
a great story. They're wonderful people.
Yeah.
They're wonderful women. They're very inspiring, hard-working women.
Very.
But it was really cool, and they are great guests. Of course, they talked about their business. So their
Right.
business is the Blogger House Curvy Closet. We won't go further into it because you got to go listen to that episode or watch it if you haven't. But that
It
was,
was
a
great.
really,
It
really
was
good
really,
one.
really good.
And it was very nice to hear. I think one of my big takeaways from that one is how incredibly powerful it is to have such a high level of respect and esteem for each other. And that obviously their story came back to our story, and we were
yes.
sharing how we have such a respect for each other that's why it works. It just
Right.
it works when it works.
Yeah.
And
I
it's just
have-
like any
but that's-
relationship.
And I was just telling you in the car, we were actually like out doing content, and I came back in and I said, I have different relationships with each one of you. With Valerie, my business partner for Plus Model Mag. And then I have Jessie, Power Plus Wellness. And then there's you and I for GIS. And I feel like with each one, I play a different role. I don't have to be in front and center all the time. That's why I can step back in a fashion episode and say, Megan, this is your episode.
But it's why it works.
But this is why a lot of people don't work, because they always feel like, what about me? What about me? What about... It's not about you. It's about the project. It's about what you want to put out there. If you would put your intention out first, this would work. Whatever it is that you want to do will work. Just put the intention out there first. And that's why I do when I work. That's why me and Valerie have been together for what? Oh my God, almost like 15 years.
We don't compete against each other.
Exactly.
And when you approach that in anything, not just business relationship, friendships, anything, it just, everything else, like your bridge. I like your bridge analogy today.
Thank you.
I'm going to take and run with that. Like, it opens it up to allow for more opportunity and more success and more growth to come in.
Yeah. And also when I saw the boat, because I'm sitting here and I told her I would be here in 10
Thank
minutes.
God the bridge went up today. Where would the content be?
And I was literally like, she's going to think I got lost to her house. But no, that boat was still, I'm like answering emails and the boat is still coming. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you so slow? I didn't know that there was a speed limit on the water.
It was meant to be there today.
It was meant to be there, because that is what I thought about. I was like, if that is a blessing that's supposed to be coming your way, we're like, dude, where's my blessing?
Hurry up.
Sometimes that blessing takes a long time to come your way.
Damn, what a good moment.
That was a big moment for me this morning. I'm very much in that mode right now. This is the end of the year. There's so many things that we have planned, but you really don't know what's going to happen.
Mode.
Very reflective.
Yeah.
Very, very grateful, for everyone in my life. And the other point that I wanted to make was, along with having alignment with the people in your life, sometimes, and this is a very, very difficult conversation that maybe we'll talk about next year, sometimes you have to edit that circle.
Oh, hell yeah. We talked about this on the podcast. We talked about this.
That edit is so important. You could literally be struggling because you need to edit that circle, because someone in that circle maybe is not aligned with you. Not that they're a bad person. That's not it. It's that they are not aligned with where you are right now. And it doesn't say anything bad about them. It just means that you need to be in a certain place. And to us, it feels selfish. Like, how could I? But if that person's not in their growth, personal growth process, you have to let them go.
And it's okay.
And let them grow on their own as you are growing.
And you'll probably come back around.
Exactly.
For a happy ending. We love a happy ending.
Yes. And it doesn't mean that it's a bad situation.
No.
It just means that it's a growth situation. And sometimes growth, I just posted this for PMM, sometimes growth feels uncomfortable, and that's okay. Just move along with it, because you know that that's something that you really, really have to do.
You know what felt uncomfortable, but we did it anyway, was our Q&A episode, which was episode 7. Or 6.
Yeah,
episode
6.
6. Because we asked each other questions, and we didn't know the questions that were coming.
Right.
We both had our cell phones for this episode.
Yes, we did.
And we sat and recorded it, and we were like, just like, we was getting late, and we were punchy as could be. And we just were feeling sassy, and we sat down and we celebrated each other, and we knew that episode was going to be the filler, like we talked about earlier. It was going to be the filler episode, so it was our quote-unquote birthday episode, because we released it between our birthdays.
Right.
So Maddie's October, I'm November. We released it like right in the smack in the middle. That episode is where we discovered my favorite fact in the entire world. In the existence of all, my number one favorite fact about Maddie. That's where we discovered it, because she just openly exposed herself about being a member of Heavenbound. And most recently, as a Christmas present to me, she shared with me a photo from Heavenbound. And you know what I'm going to do with that photo, my friends? You don't have to guess. It's going on the gram. So I am posting the photo from Heavenbound, because it was the joy that came over me when I saw this photo is what I would like to give you all. That episode was a laugh episode.
That was good.
We talked about
so much.
My God, cocktails and stories and old work stuff and blah, blah, whatever. But I will say, it was one of my favorites because it was just so silly, and it's really very much who we are.
Right.
And I think in our personal brands, right, because we obviously have our own businesses before GIS, And in our personal brands, sometimes people don't see that part of us that much.
Right.
Because it's, you know, you have a certain blanket of professionalism over you.
Right.
I think people definitely know we're silly, but in a different aspect.
Right.
That episode, and then the one to follow, which we're going to get to in a second, but that episode set it off.
Yeah.
That really let people know, like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what? And
also,
like,
where did they come from? Like, we didn't know any of this. We
Yeah.
really did come out of the box.
yeah, it was really fun.
And it was really nice to be able to open up because it's again, we have to still remind ourselves
This
that
is ours. We're the
GIS
boss.
is ours. So we are allowed
Yeah.
to say and open up and be as transparent as we want to be. And so we were. I said things that probably only my sisters knew.
We laughed.
And
We laughed.
She laughed so hard after that episode. And then when we watched it again and when we were on edit.
It's one of my favorites.
Because-
It's really one of my favorites. So that was a fun one and a good learning lesson because it's okay to you know, I think drop your guard a little bit. I
Right.
think we're just in this industry for so long.
Yeah.
And we've been forward facing and in front of the camera and in a public eye in a sense. Not by any means do I mean that we're like public figures. I just mean that we've been in the eye of other people
Right.
for a very long time. It's easy to put a guard up when you're heavily scrutinized. Part of you is like, okay, I share so much of me that this part of me is for me and my friends and my family.
Exactly.
And what we did in that episode was let you all into that part of us, which
Exactly.
felt very fun, very vulnerable at the same time because we were
Right,
like, okay,
right.
GIS is a family. It's a
Right.
community. It's
Right.
trusted. Like, we are here with you all because we all believe in the same thing, right?
Right.
Like, living a life of gratitude, making sure you look good and you feel good, having all these things, kindness, the importance of all
Right.
that. So we were like, you know what? Like, we're going to share that part of us because, like, we
Absolutely.
trust in you. Like, we believe in you the way you believe
Right.
in us and whatever. So it was interesting because it was such a funny, fun episode, but the takeaway was so revealing.
Right.
Like, I was like, oh, wow. Like,
We can actually be vulnerable and be
a
ourselves.
lot of
And
people
be okay with it because I think that we live in an industry and work in an industry where you're so judged by that you could be a little bit fearful. And in this instance, we were like, no, we're going to do this.
Yeah, it was fun.
We're
It was
just
really
going to
fun.
be open and we're not going to be afraid of it. Like, people could judge you based on the fact that, you know, I had my first drink at 21 and I got, you know, a little wasted on one drink.
Yeah,
on one
yeah,
drink.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, people will judge you on crazy things like that. But someone else that's listening is going to understand because they went through something similar. So
Yeah.
instead of being like this-
Someone out there is
super
like, yes,
perfect.
Megan, I too lose my shit when Missy Elliott comes on.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
someone is there and they're like, yep, that
Exactly,
is it.
exactly.
That is it.
Exactly. And I think that that's the whole point of that episode and of GIS as well. Let's stop just idolizing, you know, the pretty perfect captions and the pretty
Yeah.
perfect pictures. And that's why we are so like, let's just be ourselves. And if ourselves is being
And-
silly, then we're going to be silly. And then when it's time to be serious, it's time to be serious.
Yes.
So
But it was
that's
fun because
important.
that one was it was a couple of serious episodes.
Yeah.
With the exception of Christian's was silly, but not really because he really had an
very
inspiring
inspiring.
story.
Right, he did.
So we had a couple of serious episodes, and then episode 6 was like, boom, time to
Yeah.
laugh. And then it just switched it up.
Yeah.
It shook the snow globe.
Right.
Because then we went into episode 7, who was our Thanksgiving, our gratitude and tradition episode. When I tell you, I still have daily conversations with people about what we talked about. Like, I don't like pumpkin pie, guys.
said, I
I'm
don't like-
sorry.
You like literally tore down.
I said it was
pumpkin
trash.
pie.
I
Yeah,
know,
she said
and I shouldn't have said it. It wasn't nice to say that about pumpkin pie. I know, I recognize that I hurt pumpkin pie's feelings, but I still don't like it. So it was the controversy.
Yeah.
We laughed like no one's business. Making the coquito
Yes.
was
It
hysterical.
was a different format. So this is what we're also trying
Learning.
Through
Trial and
every
error.
single episode we've been learning and trying different things. I was like, me
Diane,
either. It
yeah.
is trash.
I mean, but it's true. We kept trying new things in the very short amount of time
Right.
of 9 episodes because I guess this is a trial of a different style because we're
True,
pulling audio
true.
from the live, whatever. But
Right.
we basically tried something new
Right.
with every single episode
Right.
in a way or one way or another.
Right.
Because we're so critical and because we want to make sure that we give you everything we possibly can and make season 2 that much better, we really actively went in and were like, okay, here's how we're going to change this one, or here's what we're going to do this one needs to look different, or whatever, and us collectively, and then with the team. So episode 7 was super different.
Right.
Because we changed sets.
Right.
So we were in the kitchen, and then we were at the table.
Right.
And then we were doing an activity.
Right.
Like physically on camera.
Yeah, I literally made coquito on set.
So that was really
like they
interesting
drank it for
too.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, I drank it on set.
You drank it on set, and then your sister was having on Thanksgiving, and I got her picture on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So like it was really interesting to see the dynamic and how we learned from that. But it was so funny because in my mind we came off of episode 6, and not that we filmed episode 6 right before episode 7, but it was that we came off of the silliness of episode 6 launching into episode 7, and we went in light.
Yeah.
So it was another very pivotal learning moment.
Right.
Where we were like, okay, guards down, drop the shoulders,
right.
let's go have a crazy time. Right. So we didn't get super crazy,
right.
but I mean, I definitely would have maybe just eyeballed it. If you know, you know.
I went by the measurements.
If you know, you know. If you watched
Listen.
and listened, if you know, you know, eyeballing it from now on. But we went in, we had so much fun, and there was something really beautiful about both of us sharing really special traditions.
Right, exactly.
And it just felt us.
Yes, because we're both very family oriented, and I think that was also something that we were able to share very heavily on that episode.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the family that you create. Not everyone has the blood family. And I have to say, like, I have cousins that are adopted into the family that are like our blood from when they were adopted. It's very, very important to really embrace, and not only just your blood, but your friends. And I always tell my sisters, like, we work on our relationship as if we were working on our partner's relationship. That's how deep and how important my relationship is with my sisters. But also do that with your friends. And that's something that I started to open up myself more this past year, opening up myself to my friendships just a little bit more, because honestly my friends have been like my sisters for years, because it's so painful when you don't know someone and you open yourself up and someone kind of, betrays that trust, or they're not the person that they said that they were. But you have to put the trust in you and say, I'm going to open myself up to that friendship. And I have opened myself up to friendships, and I feel like it's been such an amazing blessing. And that's what we talked about in that episode.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Just opening up, and family and tradition.
That was really fun. It was such a good episode.
Good.
It was really nice to share those pieces of us. Like, we laughed that whole episode. We talked about so many funny things, and it was a new format. Brought in a way for us to then realize how well games and fun Q&A and lighthearted things worked for us within the episode.
Right. So it was great.
So we know that, like, we're going to bring more games and do much more fun interactive things in season 2 because of that. And then we went into episode 8 and 9.
Oh.
And so episode 8 and 9 were our festive holiday fashion episodes. Now, both were sponsored by Lane Bryant.
Yes.
But both were done very differently. Super fun. But the thing about fashion episodes are, my pro of fashion episodes is it makes me so happy. Like, dumb happy, like I'm dancing and I'm acting crazy because I'm on a high. Like, it's just like so
high. She's on her high.
So happy. The con is it is so much work. It is so much work, and I will do it for all of eternity because I love it that much. So push all the work aside. Once you're in it, immediately it's just joy. It is all of the joy.
Also, Megan loses her mind.
All of the joy.
That's like her Disney. Her other Disney.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Her other Disney.
Don't even. My God.
She is so happy.
It's
like,
so
she's
fun.
That episode.
It is
but
so
the
fun.
Let's talk about the difference in both episodes. In the first episode, episode 8, the first fashion episode, what we decided to do was do a style challenge.
Which we are totally doing again.
Because it was so much fun. And we had to choose, like, what it was that we were going to do. We just put a bunch of style challenges in there. And the one that we ended up with was dress like your co-host. But we had to also honor the aesthetic of that other person.
And do it using one pair of pants 2 different ways.
That was another thing. I was definitely a little bit more scared because this is what she does for a living. And this is her mind.
Hometown advantage, right?
Right. Hometown Advantage.
You could tell
That's
I
it.
don't watch sports. Is it Hometown Advantage?
I think so, right?
Home team?
Home team advantage.
Home base? Team? What is it, guys? What is it? We are not sports people. Hometown. Home
team.
advantage.
Home field.
Home field. I don't know if
Is it
that's
home
right.
field?
Oh,
It
that's
is.
2.
That's
All right.
3. It's home field advantage.
I feel like it sounds off. I'm gonna go with both of them are sports people, so
Home team.
So it's a
Diane
team.
also should know. Home team
Team and
advantage.
field. All right.
'cause, Yeah.
Well, that's what it was because
Yeah.
all right, home field advantage, got it.
She had
Because they're
home
on
field.
it, so I was home field.
It said it's home field.
Okay, all right. But that's what it is. It's like because I am. It's my
It's
field.
her aesthetic.
I get it.
Exactly. So she does.
Oh, because they're used to the
Home-
field.
The field. Home field advantage.
Wait,
Right, the
is that
field.
why?
Probably.
Is that
it?
why? Because they're used to it.
Yeah.
So
They're
it's like
used to
their dirt?
Field. Exactly. Their dirt.
Oh
their
my God,
bases,
this
yeah.
makes so much sense. Okay.
We just
Anyway.
learned something new.
Anyway, yeah, so I get it. You were a little nervous, but you nailed it. You knocked it
It
out
was
of the park.
still fun. I can't deal with her. I can't.
This is not going to be good audio for the podcast.
Sorry, guys.
Woo! Oh,
Okay.
man. That really got me, guys. That really got me. I did it. That really got me. Okay. I can't get church giggles now.
Yeah.
We're turning the corner. We're getting there. We're wrapping it up. We're close to wrapping it up.
Yes.
So anyway, episode 8 was the style challenge. Yes, I had the home field advantage. But yes, you knocked it out of the park. You
And
really
I did it. I did it.
Touchdown.
Listen, that's not a touchdown, by the way.
Oh.
That's a home run.
This
When
is a
you're like-
touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So,
But yes.
Yeah, so that was really great.
That was a good
episode
one.
8.
And then to 9, we shook it up.
Yes, so let me tell you how amazing 9 was. You have to go watch 9 if you haven't watched 9, because it was also sponsored by Lane Bryant. It was our second holiday, part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
And for this one, we
I
had
liked the part
3
1 and 2
models.
thing.
Me too. We definitely have to do that again.
That was a lot
also
of fun.
because they were so different.
Yeah.
But the models, so that was like my area. So I chose models and I was like, I think I want this one, and I passed everything by Megan and she was like, yes. And then I'm so used to, because I'm so used to always having a partner, I'm like, this one will do this and this one is great because of this. Like I always say and I always look. And
Let me explain something to you. It is like a second language for her. Like that, you literally like,
I loved.
and how you say I become a different person, that is what happens
That
with
is-
you.
that
When
is
we
good.
have to choose people or talk about people's like strengths and why they're great at something, like it is just Maddie shines because
love
that's
it.
her, but we always talk about this and we reference it often. But it is another point that I will repeat over and over again until the day I die, because it really is you live in service of this industry.
I always. it's what I
You
think about all
don't
the
do
time.
anything without thinking of considering others and how it will impact the bigger picture.
Right.
You really don't. And I think everyone should know that, because there's something really special about that. And very, very inspiring to work alongside someone like that. Like for me to be like, all right, we need models. Yeah, it's on you. And Maddie just comes back and there are, when I tell you bullet points, why these people are great and what they can do and what will work and all these things, because her mind is so in tuned to how to better someone else's position and bring them forward with us. Like
Yeah.
that's why
Like,
you do
every
it so
single
happily.
Person like was different. Was somebody different. You know, Sharon
Awesome.
was different than Jillian.
Awesome.
Than, Faith. And everybody speaks to a different audience as well. Like I am a plus size customer.
Yeah.
Even though this is what I do for a living, I also look at things the way
Yeah.
that everyone else looks at
Same.
things. And so for us to be able to use our platform, our business,
And see what we want to see.
further that was like, we have to do this. So
It's
using
very
Sharon
special.
was great. To me, she was my ageless style model. I loved it. Jillian was brand new. Thank you, Michelle, for
Yeah.
giving us the okay on her, because she was somebody brand new that we didn't know. And people could look fantastic on social. You don't know who they are. She brought brought her game. She brought the
Yeah.
most amazing,
Awesome.
like, oh my gosh.
And then we brought
alignment.
Faith back.
And Faith is like, you know, she doesn't realize that I'm trying to adopt her. Sorry,
But
Mom.
it was so
I love
great
her.
to be able to have that level of representation.
Yes.
In
Yes.
size, in age, in aesthetic,
Yes.
right? In personal tastes, like
Yes.
across the board. And then us
Yes.
too. We were in Lane Bryant, of course, as well.
Right.
And then we did 2 different styles. So we did
Right.
casual and glam. And we just had fun.
Yes.
And it was a different format. Like we tried something new, and listen, not everything we try works, right?
Oh.
The whole purpose of this final episode is just to do a fun recap and to chit chat and be, you know, festive together. But really, we want to let you know that season 2 is going to be incredible, mostly because we put a lot of time just
Right.
making it
Yeah.
the absolute best it could possibly be, so that you all receive what we're putting out there in the best possible way. When you see an episode and you love it and you write, I loved this so much, I laughed hysterically, I watched it while making dinner, I listened to it in the car on the pickup line, like that makes us so incredibly happy and filled with joy and love and pride that there's no turning back. The purpose is to make it the most beautiful.
We
the
want you focusing on the
message,
message.
like,
Exactly. That's why we're here.
what episode 9 was really, really fun. A great way to kind of like sprinkle off that like festive fashion.
Right. If you're watching, if you're listening, and you're as invested in gratitude in your life as much as we are, we would love to hear from you. Like, what is it that you want us to touch upon?
Yeah.
Talk about. We're going to bring in special guests. You know, whatever it is that we don't know, we're going to bring special guests, experts on that are going to be able to teach us both and you.
Stuff we want to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're absolutely going to get more fashion episodes. Only doing style challenges again.
Yes. Oh.
For sure, more games and activities because we had so much
you
fun
guys
with
love
it.
doing that on IG Live.
So
Love
much fun.
it.
We're going to bring in a lot more guests and
Right.
I think some really powerful guests that are
Yeah.
going to be very impressive, because what we really said in the beginning was it's always got to be about the gratitude. Obviously, it was got to be the style. Hello.
But we got
But-
that. We know we got that.
But at the end of
it's
the day,
the
we
other
also
side.
want to come away. Someone listening is taking value in something.
Right.
There's so much that's coming your way.
Yes. And also the opportunity for you to help us shape gratitude and style.
We are streaming live on Instagram, and then we will be taking this audio and putting it to the podcast as an episode. And then we will be posting this video to YouTube where our episodes live. But for those listening, you can't see the comments that are coming through. So we're getting so many lovely comments from everybody who's on watching. Like, we were laughing about the sports puns and stuff like that. And Janice just left a comment about gratitude suckers. And this is, we talked about this before because she's
Yes.
mentioned it before, but
Yeah.
gratitude suckers are definitely going to be spoken about in the
Yeah.
new year, because I think they thrive in the new year because they don't like people winning. They don't like
Yes.
it. They don't want us
Yes.
to come in fresh and go for the number one spot.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about gratitude suckers. We're going to talk about, just how to beat that and how to just keep the gratitude no matter the moment. So
Yeah.
there's lots of fun to be had, and for sure lots of fun and gratitude and style and fashion. And I think that the most important thing, aside from Maddie, what you said was, making sure that they tell us what they want,
Yes,
because
that's important.
we keep forgetting this,
That we're
but
in
we
charge.
get to create this.
Right.
Like, the coolest part is that this is our thing.
Yeah. I'm used to being told what to do. My clients are the ones that tell me what
Yeah,
to do, even
same.
though I own.
keep forgetting
Right.
we're in charge.
Right.
So if
that
you
means that we can
all
offer this to you.
we're in it
Like,
together.
right. Help
It's
us shape
our collective project.
Exactly.
Which
Exactly.
is why it's so much fun and why we take it so seriously and we're so passionate about it, because it just brings us immense joy
Yes.
to be able to bring a touch of gratitude and a splash of style
Yes.
to your everyday. At the end of every episode, we do 2 things.
Yes.
We talk about what we are grateful for and what's in style right now.
Yes.
And so we're going to end out our final episode
Of
of season 1, year 2021,
Yes.
the same way we started.
Yep.
So, Maddie, what are you grateful for today?
Oh, and I'm going to try not to cry through this.
All right, do what's in style first then.
Okay, so what's in style right now is wear what you love. I use that hashtag all the time, and I want you guys to adopt it because it's going to be big in 2022. Wear what you love. Stop thinking about what someone thought, or you're not supposed to wear it because of what age or your shape or your size. She's definitely wearing what she loves, and this questionable sweater.
It's a ugly Christmas poncho, and it's only ugly to some people. It's really all about perspective.
I didn't say it was ugly. I just said it was questionable. So that's the style.
Okay.
The gratitude, I have to say, I am so grateful that I have been able to do, like I said, in which I didn't even realize until it happened today with that drawbridge opening. Sometimes you have to open yourself up, and the blessing that came in was through my daughter, and opening up myself and saying, I'm not going to be as fearful because she's, on the autism spectrum, and I'm not sure if she could do this, and just holding her back. I took a chance, and she did aqua cycling for the first time. She's doing so much. She loves reels.
So much. She's a
doing
star.
So much. And I'm like, I have to open myself up. Don't let my fear of what she can't do stop her from what she can do.
Oh man, so I just had another sports pun.
Oh no.
I just had another one. Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from the game. See?
And that is the truth. Like, that is what I hold on to right now, because that is literally how I've been living in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
I love that.
Living just an open book to it. And not just for me, but for other people. Open up that door for other people, because that blessing that you're allowing the other person to experience will come back to you. I promise you.
I love that.
Yes. So what's in style for you, Megan?
Oh boy. So in style for me is, I'm kind of on board with you. I really do. I want everyone to just wear what they want.
Yes.
But for me, I always attach a feeling to fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it has a lot to do with wear what brings you joy.
Yes.
And I say it for anything, and it's just in part of how I operate my everyday. Just do what brings you joy. Do what makes you happy. Do what is going to give you the most amount of gratification and smile and life to you. So if that means wearing what you want,
right,
then for God's sake, wear what you want.
Exactly. Wear what you love.
Why do we care? There's too much going on. Many other things that we can use that energy for to have a good time, then talk about a bad time. And so if it comes down to what is in style right now, my answer is whatever makes you happy.
Yes.
Whatever brings you joy, please put it on. Poncho thing is making me so happy. Wear what makes you happy and wear what you
love.
Wear what you love.
Yes. And what are you grateful for?
Oh, what am I grateful for? What am I not grateful for? But ultimately, I think in this moment right now, I am so incredibly grateful for time and a life that allows me to have time well spent.
Right. Exactly.
So I am really grateful for time. And time well spent is all you need. Decided that we were going to dedicate this episode, this dear friend of ours, Alan Fox, who recently passed away. He's actually the composer behind our original music for the podcast. This episode, this recap episode of all of the amazing things that we were able to do is in honor of him, because he for sure attacked every day with gratitude and happiness and joy, and attacked it in the most fulfilling way, where he was not leaving anything undone, and he was living a full life and doing everything that brought him joy and made him happy. And so that is why we are ending this episode in dedication to him. We're so grateful to have his art live on forever on the podcast. He really believed in gratitude and style. Exactly. And so we will carry that on, and we will remind you that life is too short. So go spend your time wisely.
Yes. And thank you so much for joining us.
That's it.
And we will see you in 2022.
We'll see you next year, my friends. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and live your life in gratitude,
in style.